This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff and all of our friends slash homies.
Yeah,
Slash homies.
I think
here we
that's what we
are.
decided on, yeah?
Yeah,
Something like that.
Gang's all here. Cue the
Gang's
SpongeBob.
all, gang
presently.
is all here, including Alex, who's returned from.
The
Uh,
dead.
I don't know
Uh, here I
Alex.
am.
Alex is no longer yellow.
I'm not. Mono
Alex
does
Manus.
wild things. I was not an alcoholic liver failure, which I did panic for a hot second, but absolutely was not. Can confirm.
The show is killing me.
I don't think it's what Alex does during a recording that would have put that into question. I think it's
I
the
was
other
just trying to give him an
6 days
out,
of the
though.
week.
Just trying to give
The
him an
other
out.
6 days of the week.
Understanding.
Alex, does this put you on the shelf for any alcohol activities for a
Oh
bit?
yeah, yeah. I'm on the shelf for a bit until my liver enzymes are confirmed back to normal. Friday we'll get a test, and then I'm thinking the responsible thing to do as a medical professional would be to continue to take some time off to allow for the healing of my hepatocytes,
All
Until
right.
St.
What?
Patrick's.
liver cells.
Okay.
But
Sites. Are there mites and tights, like stalagmites, stalactites?
not so much, but good thought.
Okay.
Nope, but we're good. We're not yellow anymore, really. Our pee has returned to a normal color. Our tonsils are still touching, but we're doing our best.
Glad to have you back.
We were born with action figure hands.
Well, also in the background is Sam. Sam has come back to the show.
Hi, I'm here. I was
Who's
very busy counting all the shirts at Old Navy last week, but I'm back.
What was the final count?
I scanned like almost 3,000 things. That store has way more items than I ever wanted to know. So it's a good
All
time.
right.
but now you know. But now you
Now
know. Now you know. Jim is here. Jim.
I am happy to be here on this Valentine's Day. So Nate and Sam, be nice to each other. This day of
You know,
sweethearts.
we can do that for one day a year.
Yeah.
Today is Tuesday, February 14th. Happy St. Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah. Be nice to each other, everybody.
You guys are my Valentines.
Good. That makes me
I don't know.
happy.
I don't know if that's good. We'll
He
find
got
out after.
mono. He probably should just keep it to us.
That's true, because I won't kiss you guys on the lips.
Right.
That's true. Well, Jim may have a Tom Brady relationship with you. I'm not sure.
What we do in our free time is between us.
Don't judge us.
Okay.
Don't kink,
What was that, Nate?
don't kink shame.
Yeah.
All right. Keep us on the path towards YouTube stardom. Follow Sports Stuff W/Jim Ampersand Muff. Subscribe, comment, rate, review.
Get the bell on.
Poke, tickle, like.
Don't kiss right now.
Do not kiss.
At
Unless
least
it's your Valentine.
and they
Just kiss
confirmed
one.
on their mono.
Just kiss your Valentine. That's it.
Just your Valentine. Alex, we have a Pittsburgh Penguins update.
We do. The Pittsburgh Penguins are 26-17-9, standing fifth in the Metropolitan currently with 61 points. They currently have the second wild card spot in the Eastern Conference, with the Capitals just barely ahead at 62 points and the Islanders close on their tail with 60 points. They have 8 regular season games left to go, the next being a Valentine's Day matchup with the San Jose Sharks.
Ooh. Jim, how's the crack house doing?
The Crack House.
As I say, I don't think you've actually gotten to show your
Crack House.
yeah.
They're second behind my other team, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and the Blue Jackets have the worst league in hockey, or the worst record in hockey,
And all of the hockey.
and all of the hockey.
It's a lot
Have
of
we seen your
hockey.
crack house sweater? Do you have a anything Golden Knights attire or no?
No, I don't like their logo. That's the whole reason they're not number one, Nate.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
We have no other reasons. That's the one.
Yeah. I mean, they're winners, so I should probably like them first, but I just don't like their logo. I think the best Las Vegas team is the WNBA team, the Aces. Like that makes sense to me.
Do you have an aces?
No, I should do that. I'm gonna look up at Homage right now and see if they had any. Carry on.
Carrying on. That gets us through what is happening in the NHL. I haven't heard any news from the Pirates recently. Nate, have you heard anything?
Pitchers and catchers report today.
Oh,
Hey.
baseball.
Is there anybody that we know that's reporting?
The 40-some-year-old pitcher we signed, Rich Hill.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yes. I think he needs to report when everyone else comes back. There's no reason to tire out that arm.
That's what I'm just trying to think. Who on the pitching staff? I'm like, okay, you got him, David Bednar, the closer, who's a Pittsburgh guy.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I can't even name you any other pitcher off the top of my head right now. Oh, that bum Mitch Keller.
That bum.
He just got lit up like a Christmas tree last year. And I'm calling it now. He's going to be the next Tyler Glass now because he reminds me a lot of him. He throws hard. He's ineffective. He's being lit up. He's going to be trade bait, and he's going to end up on the All-Star team next couple years. You watch.
There it is. There's Nate's projection, which brings us into the NFL.
Yeah, we're talking about Super Bowl. To go back on the Las Vegas logo, their logo sucks too. The Aces. It's a good name, but their logo blows. All right, let's go back. Let's go to the Super Bowl rewind. Hello, loyal listeners. Don't forget to subscribe to Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, plus Alex, plus Nate, and Sam, or any other guests we may have on the show. Thank you for listening. This is Jim. It was the third most watched Super Bowl of all time with 113 million people watching. Let's start off with pregame. Pregame started at 10.
You just bury the lead here? Is that what we're doing?
What am I burying?
The winner?
Yeah, we're gonna get to the end.
Okay.
We're walking it through, okay?
Okay.
Pregame.
I bet if the Eagles won, we'd be doing this differently.
Yeah, okay, Muff. Carrying on. Pregame was all day. And then we get to the national anthem, where the Eagles coach was brought to tears by Chris Stapleton.
Do you think he was brought to tears by Chris Stapleton or the fact he was coaching the Super Bowl?
No, so what they said was he would get pumped up by listening to Whitney Houston's national anthem, and that made him emotional previously. I would assume then he's already an emotional guy over the national anthem. Now it's his Super Bowl. I'm sure that's why he cried. Although Chris Stapleton's national anthem was not bad.
It was very good, I thought.
Who was the player a few years ago in the Super Bowl that had the tear run right down his face and it was waterworks? Because I kind of got flashbacks to that with Sirianni.
Oh, I agree. I can't remember the name, though. Yeah, I agree.
There's a Broncos player, right?
Well,
yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember my Aunt Lisa's appearance on this show.
I sure do.
Shout out Aunt Lisa.
But she decided her fandom for the night based on that. She wanted the coach who cried to win.
Yeah.
But she could not remember if it was the Green
No
Peas.
Sean Moraine.
There were a lot of people crying, and then they panned over Pat Mahomes, and he is just giving the dirtiest look to everyone.
Oh, he's been there, done that a few times. He just wanted to get on with the show.
I'm just confused why there were so many singers. There were so many songs before the game even started.
It's the pageantry of it.
Yeah, my sister was like, are they going to play football or are they going to sing songs? So.
All right.
Anything else pregame, Sam, since Jim just went to, there was a bunch of pregame and there was national anthem.
Well, Babyface looked damn good.
I was going to say, is there any pregame outfits that you saw that you liked or disliked?
No, but
who saw Juju Smith-Schuster's outfit?
I did not.
I think I caught a glimpse of it real quick.
I really liked Mrs. Kelsey's outfit because she supported both of the teams. She's cute.
Did you hear about how the dad's yeah, no, I'm not sitting in the press box with a bunch of people all sit in the stands. When he saw blue collar grunt, he referred to himself as. And he was like, I'll just sit in the stands. So that's why only Kelsey's mom was up there with DeMar Hamlin and Roger Goodell.
Yep.
She was like, I'm sitting up here. She's like, F you. You can sit wherever you want.
Jim,
Are we
do
sure
you
that was
recall?
DeMar Hamlin?
Okay, calm down, Jim.
A lot of Twitter buzz there. A lot of Twitter buzz.
First conspiracy that Jim's tossing out for the night.
A lot of Twitter buzz out there.
First of many, I assume.
Spoiler alert. Muff said first.
Who was and this is to my knowledge, the first fan who had a double jersey of
It would
note?
be Brady Quinn's
who's
sister,
who's married
wife.
to AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
No. Is it Brady? Was his his
sister,
wife or
his sister?
Who's married to AJ Hawk, right?
Who's married to AJ Hawk? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was a little bit of a quiz. Jim wins. I expected he probably would.
Yeah. All right. Can we move on now from pregame? Muff? Yes? No?
Do you guys have any good snacks?
I had some steak Sammys.
Okay.
Steak sliders.
Yeah.
We had ham and cheese sliders, some buffalo chicken dip, and
I had some chicken dip. Yep.
Array of charcuterie.
Unfortunately, my pregame meal did not end up a fan favorite of my belly. So I had no snacks before or after the game.
Oh,
I
I'm
had
sorry,
only my
Muff.
pregame meal. I will not put into ill repute the establishment with which I visited, but I will not be going to a particular steak place again anytime soon.
All right.
I had
All right.
I went to Fig Freddy's because why not eat pasta before your pregame? It's carb loading.
Sure. We're gonna get to the field. Let's talk about the field for a hot second. They spent what is reported $800,000 to have a grass field.
Todd the sod god come in and do work.
And then they painted on it to basically turn it into ice.
Okay, I feel like that ice comment is not accurate.
Everybody was slipping on that, Muff.
I do not think it was the paint that was the issue. I think it was the grass, Jim.
Only the paint helped.
I feel like Muff's going to argue with everything I say. So please, somebody counter Muff here. We saw people falling on the painted areas.
I don't
correct?
think it was ice.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, they talked
people...
about the fact that the painted area was slippery, but I don't think it was on purpose.
I'm not going to say. I don't think when you have spikes in studs, Jim, the paint is not going to be the reason you slip. The paint is surface. You slip because the grass underneath of it is the issue.
Only on the painted spots.
Because that's the only place people slipped all night. That is inaccurate. The grass itself was an issue.
They were saying it in the commentator booth, like the
because Tony Romo and not Tony Romo, Greg Olson was on the field. He had spikes on and was slipping on the
so paint. You contend it was not the painted areas?
I contend it was the grass. This was an entirely new grass that they were using. They had this guy who's like, "Well, this is the grass we should use." Now, if you want a conspiracy, Jim, the conspiracy is that the NFL let this happen so that they could say, "Oh, grass maybe isn't the best surface to play on, so we're going to keep using these artificial turf surfaces." There's your conspiracy if you want it. And they're like, "Oh, let's let this play out."
Well, that and Kansas City plays on that type of grass.
I want to stir the pot with Jim more. I know I'm putting fuel towards myself, but the turf grass used was Tahoma 31 Bermuda grass that was developed by Oklahoma State University. Big 12 for winning things for you again.
Well, and then they said Kansas City played there in week 1 and was complaining about the grass then.
So they had an edge, is what I'm saying. They've played on that grass before.
Eagles defensive end Hassan Reddick said, "I'm not going to lie, it's the worst field I ever played on."
All right, $800,000 down the drain. All I'm saying.
And not the same grass that they use in that stadium throughout the year.
All right. Halftime, Rihanna.
There's nothing else that happened in the first half.
The Eagles were winning throughout the first half.
So we don't need to talk about the game.
Muff,
You
I'm
just
dealing
glossed past the entire part of the game.
Muff, I'm dealing with the extracurricular stuff of the game.
Why don't we talk
Before
about
we
the
get to the
game
game
first? The
itself.
reason that we tuned in.
If
We said we're going to go chronologically. You went pregame, national anthem, field, halftime. We didn't even talk about the game.
We're not at the game time yet. This is my notes.
You just went to
How did you
halftime.
get to halftime without being at game time?
We're getting through the extracurricular stuff.
Okay, Rihanna. She's pregnant. Yay. Congratulations, Rihanna.
It wasn't as exciting as other years have been, but it was actually pretty good, I thought.
Not bad.
I thought it was lackluster.
Because there weren't a million pop-out surprises. I think I see what you're saying, Nate. But I think her talent, I think she did well.
I mean, that was like a real boring stage to me, but the choreography impressed me.
My grandma was very confused.
By
So
all
was
of the
he was not a big fan of Rihanna.
There's
all
all the
the hip-
grabbing,
the hip
the
thrusts.
thrusting, the grabbing, the crotch grabbing. Oh, ooh, why is she doing that? Came out a lot. I said Michael Jackson did it, and she goes, "Really?"
You don't say.
She's
So-
very.
How about all the backup dancers? All they were doing was hip thrusts the entire time.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a bit much. I get it.
Much.
My
Did
cousin
you guys
was
see the
like
one?
white minions.
The one dancer almost fell off the thing.
I didn't see that.
It was sketch.
Yeah, it was like the one right next to Rihanna, and like as it's going up and down, he's like off to the side and almost fell off of it.
It was sketch.
You mean the Super Smash Brother stage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Falcon Punch.
See, I thought that stuff was pretty cool.
Okay, now we can get to the game part because we have to.
Do you want to talk about the post game since we're talking about the extracurriculars first?
Well, I do, but we gotta.
We
You want to talk about Terry?
We missed
I'm
an
real mad about
extracurricular.
Terry.
We missed an extracurricular.
Go ahead.
It was the first all-woman flyover team.
Oh yes, thank you. Yes, the flyover at the beginning was done by all females, which is the first in history. Very cool. Very cool.
And I
About
don't know
the
if I missed
commercials.
it, but did they even show the flyover? They only showed like the one
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they
Okay.
showed them in the cockpit and everything too.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause I see the actual fly over the field.
Oh, I don't know because the image I saw was in her cockpit.
Or in the cockpit. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they showed like the tail end of it, like
Yeah.
But
All right, let's get to the game. Go ahead, Muff.
What about those commercials? That's an extracurricular.
I didn't like any of the commercials. I wasn't a fan. There was one. It made my list, but we'll talk about that my one later. I wasn't a big like. It's cool that we're gonna get the original Batman in the Flash movie.
Mhm. I thought the Ultra golf commercials were pretty funny.
The first one was.
Yeah,
You talking about the one that Caddyshack knockoff?
yeah, the
Yeah.
golfs. Yeah, I like that stuff.
Remo.
All the ones leading up to it were pretty funny. I feel like Remo was in a bunch of commercials. Maybe it's just me, but I
He's
think
gonna get paid somehow.
So I was home by myself watching it for the majority of it, and I don't like being in my empty house. And when the Tubi commercial came on,
No.
I flipped out. I'm sitting in the kitchen and I'm like, oh my God, there's someone in the living room playing with the remote. What the hell am I going to do?
That was a creepy commercial.
It was weird. And then all of a sudden it just like went off and went back to whatever. And I was like, okay.
That's fair.
I was a
Now,
little
now let's get to the game, Muff. Go ahead.
I don't know. Did Sam have anything to say about the halftime show?
Oh, that's true. Sam,
it was okay. It was a little I've seen better, but I do like Rihanna.
I thought Jay-Z was going to come out at one point for sure.
I was hoping, man.
Yeah,
Jay-Z was at the game too.
I know. I was thinking whenever she went into like the Empire State of Mind, around this town stuff, I thought for sure. At one point, I was afraid Kanye was, and I was like, surely not. I hate him. Go back to your hole where you belong.
Did anyone find him yet? I thought he was still missing.
I hope he is.
I
I hope he's not hurt or injured because I don't wish that on anyone, but I hope he's still missing.
we hope he doesn't have mono.
Yeah, I don't wish that on.
I mean, it was just okay. But I get it. Like, I give her props because she's pregnant and she did a performance. So
Yeah.
Was there a time during that performance for all of the dudes in the house where you're like, I want to ask somebody if she may be pregnant, but I don't want to be the first one to say it.
I asked.
Everybody was thinking it.
No,
I
I
asked.
totally like it. I let my stepmom have at that one.
I totally did. And here's the conversation. And again, I might get in trouble for yet again bringing up my wife onto the show. But I said, Joe, she pregnant? Joe goes, I think she already had a baby. I go, I'm pretty sure she's going to have another one. Joe goes, yeah, maybe. That was the conversation.
I really loved the things today that were like, why were they playing football at Rihanna's baby shower?
Yeah, I saw
How
a
rude of
T-shirt.
them.
I saw a T-shirt that said there was a Rihanna concert interrupted by football. Yeah. Now let's get to the game, Muff.
Okay. Sam, any other extracurriculars you want to talk about?
There were a couple commercials I liked, but that was it.
Okay. Let's get to the game. A game which the Kansas City Chiefs were victorious thanks to a last-minute field goal from Harrison Butker. Chiefs were down at halftime, so let's go through the first half. First half was high scoring, entertaining, had a lot to offer. They went into the break 21-14, or was it 24-17? And it was a 7-point difference. I forget which one it was.
I thought it was 24-14.
24-14. There we go. 10 points.
17.
Okay. Good. So anyway, the Eagles were up. Score. I'm sure one of you two can figure it out. What were our thoughts on the first half? Number one, the opening kickoff went for a touchback, which is number one. Jim, the coin toss, extracurriculars. You can talk about the coin toss.
It was lackluster.
Because you lost it?
I didn't lose it. I didn't bet it. You can't bet it in Ohio.
You didn't look hard enough.
No, I literally did.
I said McAfee put 20 grand on it.
It was dubbed illegal in Ohio.
That's silly.
I know.
Okay. So opening drives were both good for both teams. We saw a lot of good offense. We didn't see much defense in the first half, aside from the Kansas City scoop and score off the Jalen Hurts fumble. Overall, the first half was, aside from that, was for the most part mistake free. There was low penalties throughout the first half. There wasn't a lot of interruptions to the game. There was a lot of good flow. The Chiefs ran the ball more than was expected, and the Eagles threw the ball more than was expected, both doing so with success. So going into halftime, what were everybody's feelings?
I told my mom, I was with my mom, my grandfather, and my brother. I said, as soon as Mahomes went down and acted like he was in huge pain, I said, oh, here we go, right on script. He's going to pretend he's really hurt, go into halftime, get his little cortisone shot, and play the greatest second half he's ever played. And what did he do?
Pretty much that.
Got that Toradol. Said,
Yep.
Here we go. Was anybody surprised by the Eagles passing attack and the Chiefs running attack in the first half?
Yes.
I was surprised by the Eagles passing attack. Because that Pacheco for the Chiefs, he runs hard.
Yeah, and I think he was on a different level on this game, to be honest.
Yeah. Seventh-round rookie out of Rutgers. I mean, he was running like he had a chip on his shoulder like he always does, but he looked like he was man-possessed last night.
What's rivals?
Yeah.
I was more surprised by the Eagles pass attack. I did not foresee them taking so many shots downfield so often, I guess. That was the first time I really had time to appreciate AJ Brown for the receiver he is. I feel like he had some.
Well, and also, how many games have you watched with AJ Brown, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you actually sat down and watched AJ Brown, aside from the Steelers, which he had 3 touchdowns this year.
Yeah. I mean, I watch NFL Red Zone and stuff, but it's different when you're actually watching him. But they did. I feel like they just. I don't know. Maybe I am mistaken, but it just doesn't seem like Jalen Hurts is that deep ball quarterback that you think of. But he had some nice throws.
I'll tell you what, Dallas Goddard had a lot of nice contested catches.
Yeah,
Yes.
throughout the game, not just first half, but throughout the game. Jim, thoughts on the first half?
I was happy. I was set. I was like, yay, this is going to be great for me. I thought the Eagles and their fourth down pushes or when yardage was short, like they just dominated that the offensive line was amazing. But that second half.
That's what my dad said at one point. He's like, I don't know why the Eagles don't just keep lining it up and just sneak it all the way down the field.
I mean, you knew it was coming. They just couldn't stop it.
Yeah, that's been all year too. That's been the Eagles.
Yeah, they
anything
had
inside the
they were
two.
They were what, like 33 of 37 on quarterback sneaks trying to get a first down this year.
Yeah, they've got that down.
Well,
all anchored by the Kelsey brother in the middle.
I was just about to say that he won't get as much like glamour as Travis Kelce, but when you look at that play over and over again, who's at the center of that?
That's it. Then we get to halftime. The Rihanna fans come out. They're going to run this town tonight. Which brings us into the second half. Jim, thoughts on the first part of the second half? The Chiefs first on the board in the third quarter.
They came out guns blazing. I mean, it was classic Patrick Mahomes. Like they just came out swinging, which I thought, okay, there's one, it'll be all right. Like, but it seemed like it just kept going.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a competitor.
Kelsey was kind of quiet in that second half, but Juju really picked this game up.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Smith-Schuster did. Finally, I mean, this is his game of the year, I think, as far as I can obviously be proven wrong on that, but that's the most I remember seeing him used consistently was in that second half of the Super Bowl. So we carry on throughout the second half. Obviously, the Chiefs come back, and we get to a tie game going into the latter stages of the fourth quarter. The Chiefs, if I recall correctly, get a punt, have a good return, put themselves in good position.
He's the longest punt return in Super Bowl history.
Was it?
Yeah.
I did not hear that in real time. So they get into position. They are inside the 15, I believe, when we have a third down. Jim, take us through your thoughts on the third down play.
It's all you, buddy.
Okay, so if it's all me, there's a pass play. Patrick Mahomes goes to throw to, is it Juju Smith-Schuster, correct?
Yeah.
And old buddy from the Eagles holds him coming out of his route. There's obviously a hold as the jersey is tugged. Flag comes in. This was key because there was about a minute 40 left. The Eagles were low on the timeouts, and the Chiefs were then able to run clock, kick a field goal, short field goal with about 8 seconds left. Yeah, that's what happened. Since I'm the one that gets to run it, Jim can have no dissenting opinion since I was the one that got to talk about it.
That's exactly what happened.
If this happened in the second quarter, I would not have cared as much. The fact that was a pivotal moment and took away a possible classic ending pissed me off. I think again, we have a resident official here who's going to tell us, all the real rules and why, whatever. But when I think about it, I always think like I would feel like the official's job is to be like not seen. And I feel like that was like one of those calls that like you could have let go really easy.
Well, that's what, like, right after the game, the referee on my crew next year was, and then the other guy who's one of the wing officials who does some D2, D3 college football was getting in like the rules aspect and everything of it. And like he said, yeah, you could call it, but he doesn't like it in that situation. If you haven't called it that tight all game, why are you calling it in the pivotal point of the game? I don't think it was enough to really alter the route. I mean, Juju never was asking. He was never like, oh, where's the flag? Where's the flag? Or whatever. And plus, I didn't think that ball was catchable. And then, like, the guys were saying, well, You don't know if that ball was catchable if he wasn't pulled. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there was enough there.
If
I
he would have
wouldn't.
snapped back and like changed his trajectory a little bit, I would have had something there. But he just blew through it.
I saw more early in the route than I did later in the route.
Mhm.
That's, to be honest, on the replay, that's what I saw. And I'm not sure when the flag was supposed to come in, but I saw it earlier in the route, not later in the route.
Well, then someone made a good point, and then I didn't read through the whole plethora of texts as I was driving. But the guy that's the referee in my crew was saying he doesn't understand or he doesn't like how the guy on the sideline looking right down the line of scrimmage didn't throw the flag. It was the deep wing that threw the flag.
Yeah, mechanics of who's looking at what, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I assume person on the line of scrimmage looks at the bump and run area.
Yeah, he should have
The
everything
5
right
yard.
in front of him. But I mean, unless his view was blocked or whatever, because I mean, it was an inside grab. Because the receiver's coming out, he doesn't see the DB's hands. That's probably why he doesn't throw it. But again, if you're not calling it like that early in the game, like Alex said in the second quarter, then you better not be calling that in the fourth.
Right, there were a lot of penalties. I mean, there was like I think 4 or 5 total in the game. I mean, maybe about 5 or 6. The yards were low, all said and done. I think there was probably like less than 50-ish yards total penalty yards, which is, I mean, it's what you hope for from the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And then the Eagles get the ball back and can't do anything with it.
No.
8 seconds left. So brings us to the end of the game and then the Super Bowl. Jim, any thoughts?
So back to the penalties real quick. It was 14 and 33. So yeah, we were under 50.
Yeah.
And as far as the end of Super Bowl over now? Like you've had your moment?
Oh no, you told me to take it home, so I just took it home, buddy.
But so now Mahomes is the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. I think he deserved it.
That's an extracurricular.
Right. But that's just the post-game extracurriculars.
Okay. Nothing on the penalty, Jim?
I have nothing to say, Muff.
So the Chiefs deserve to win?
They won.
The Chiefs deserve to win?
They won.
There was nothing to say that if that call wouldn't have been made, that the Eagles would have won. There was something to say that they would have had a much better chance at winning.
They would have a chance. They would have a chance. They would have an opportunity. So Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. Patrick Mahomes throws for like, what, 170 yards to be the MVP. Obviously, there was a lot of rushing yards that went into play. I think it goes with the narrative of the NFL most valuable player for the year, and then the Super Bowl MVP go hand in hand. Is there anybody that you think would have been just as deserving?
If Kelsey would have had a big second half, Kadarius Toney, you could argue, because he had that late touchdown and then that huge punt return. But overall, for the whole game, he had 2 really great, crucial plays.
Well, that's like on that play when he scored that touchdown towards the end of the game. They ran that same play earlier and they got burned.
Yeah. Yeah, they ran. I think they ran it just both sides, right? They ran it right,
Yeah.
right, left.
Yeah, the first time it was what was it, Sky Moore?
Mm-hmm.
Went in jet motion as soon as the ball was snapped, went right flat, wide open. Nobody was there. And as soon as I saw that play, I go, "Oh, that was a pick route." And then as soon as I saw the play, nope.
Well, you think about it, like those 3 of their touchdowns were on out routes, whether it was the first Kelsey touchdown, which was an out route, right? I mean, he went in and then came back out, and then those 2 to either side of the field with Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney, both like that must have been the area they wanted to attack on that defense was, kind of like that short corner, I'll say. I don't know if that's the proper term, but they were running goal line routes just straight to the corner. So obviously found something. So if the Eagles were to win, is there any doubt that Jalen Hurts would have been the MVP?
Oh, he was done. That was lost.
Absolutely.
I was going to put money on it.
Yeah, he could have been the MVP on a losing. I mean, he had a great game.
3 touchdowns and a 2-point conversion. I mean,
yeah,
it was set.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
One thing about the Eagles team, there's a lot of pieces coming back. The areas that are unsure though are the offensive line, which I want to talk a little bit about offensive line play. The offensive line for the Chiefs, which kept the Eagles' defensive line in check, right? So if anybody saw, they had the Ravens 30 for 30 came out, right, appropriately right before the Super Bowl, talking about that defense and all-time defense and what they did. The Eagles were being touted as a great defense, maybe not like an all-time great, but a great defense. Obviously did not show up in this game overall. And that led to, I think, the Jalen Hurts stat line, because he had to be throwing the ball. He had to be leading these drives as opposed to their ground control game. But Jason Kelce, is he rumored to retire? Lane Johnson, I believe, is retiring. And I think there's another piece of that offensive line for the Eagles that is considering not coming back.
I heard him say they think that Brandon Graham on their defensive line was going to be it, and then maybe Fletcher Cox.
Yeah. So not all of the Eagles pieces are returning, most likely, but a lot of them are, which is good news for Philadelphia.
Yeah, now it's just a huge waiting game.
I would sell pieces of the farm to keep that offensive line.
Not if they retire, Jim. That's the
I'd
issue.
be like, nah, here's some more money. You're not retiring.
If I'm Jason Kelce and I know most of my offense is coming back and I have another shot to be in the Super Bowl, I think I'd give it one more year. He still looked good.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, that's a lot of work on your body. So, personal decision.
Indeed it is. Other post-game discussion. Terry Bradshaw,
Fuck
Jim.
Terry Bradshaw. Fuck that old bastard.
That's how you really feel.
Like,
is there anything else you want to say about Terry?
for him to say, big man, let me get the big guy in here. Come on, waddle over here. And then afterwards say, have a cheeseburger on us.
He's the one. Andy Reid puts that on himself a little, though.
I don't care. You just won a Super Bowl. Like, you know what? We talk a lot of shit on people, and I get it. I talk a lot of shit on people, and I even posted a menu meme on my Instagram. I didn't hear this whole Terry Bradshaw thing till tonight.
No.
I heard it. It was pretty funny.
Forget you, Terry Bradshaw. Like, who are you, buddy?
He's Andy Reid's the one that makes jokes about like, what are you gonna do now? I'm gonna go eat double cheeseburger. I think he was doing like a callback.
You guys are Yinzer apologists.
He was doing a callback to what Andy Reid himself said previously.
Well, you saw when they interviewed Andy Reid about them playing in Germany next year. He goes, "Oh, maybe I can get a good bratwurst."
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just saying like, I think you think of this, you're making this a fat shaming thing, and I think that he was just.
If you said, "Come on, let me get the big guy in here," that's one. All right. And at the end, if you said, have a cheeseburger on us, that's two. That's the joke. But come on, waddle over here.
Yeah, that one was kind of bad.
I mean,
the waddle was bad, but
I'm not saying it's not bad, but you see my guy walk like I walk a little bit like that too sometimes. Not gonna lie, I'm a big dude.
Listen, we had a principal in high school. We always called her the Penguin.
Yeah.
All right, moving along out of possibly getting Nate in trouble. Andy Reid. We'll talk about some positives for Andy Reid. Where does this cement? I mean, I think at this point we're cementing his legacy to football. Does he have to do anything else to prove himself at this point, or is he done? Like, if his career stopped today, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, before his time with the Chiefs, I would say no, because he only won once with the Eagles, right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, this is definitely helping his cause year after year. Yeah. What is that, 5 straight years they've been in the conference championship game?
Yeah, the 5 years Mahomes has been there. 5 years Mahomes has been the starting quarterback. They have been in the conference championship.
And 3 times in the Super Bowl.
I think that GM that found Patrick Mahomes, and he's the same guy who said we should hire Jalen Hurts. I think he should be in there too. Like he should get some kind of award. The man's got an eye for talent.
He has an eye. Yeah, quarterbacks he's done well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about the rest of it, but quarterbacks, he's hitting homers,
Yeah.
dingers around. All right. Other thoughts on the foosball game? Jim, did they follow the script, Jim?
Muff, I'm not saying nothing.
Oh, Jim's copy.
I ain't saying nothing.
Jim's betting copy did not get the script followed. All right. Which brings us into other interesting news in the sports world.
Guys,
Wait, we forgot
Does.
Chad. We forgot the Henny retired. I was waiting for you to hit that one. Chad Henne retired right at the end of the game.
With Bud Light in his hand.
Yeah, he's gone.
Bud. More Bud Lights.
he was one of those guys that did it right. Just ride out. He had to play on how many teams? Got his name out there. We'll remember Chad Henne. He didn't try to do more than he was. He's a good backup. A plus Chad Henne.
A plus Chad Henne. Other interesting news from sports now. Speaking of people that should ride out into, I don't even know if it's sunset anymore, into the midnight darkness. Jaromir Jagr celebrated his 51st birthday by scoring, a week early by scoring his 1,099th goal, overtaking Wayne Gretzky at the top.
We put by that though, because wasn't Gretzky's all in the NHL?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just other professional hockey opportunities that Jaromir Jagr has been playing for the last 5 years?
I don't know, but he looks a hell of a lot older than 51.
Well, Jaromir needs to step away, I believe. Sidney Crosby had a first.
Yeah, crazy. He got kicked out of a game. First time he had a game misconduct penalty in his entire career. And from what it sounds like, not really his fault. Basically, a guy was chirping, he chirped back, and there's some pushing and shoving towards the penalty box. And the ref kind of just took that moment to throw him out.
Yeah, I think what led into that is he was in the front of the net and got cross-checked right in the back.
Yeah. Lots of chirping. Crazy.
Gets us into some basketball discussion. The NBA trade deadline was full of things. Most notably, we had Kyrie Irving going to the Mavericks, Kevin Durant going to the Suns.
I mean, we could talk about Westbrook, I guess, but he's kind of put out to pasture. Kyrie to the Mavs and KD to the Suns. Wild, because they wanted to get Kyrie to the Lakers, or Kyrie wanted to get to the Lakers. They didn't make that happen. And KD peacefully said, listen, I want traded to the Suns. And like called his shot. And the Nets were like, all right, we'll do that. But we're gonna negotiate the right deal. And like it was artfully done for KD. Kyrie was like, let's get this guy the hell out of here.
Well, not just get him out of here, but we are not going to let him go where he wants to go.
Right.
It was very apparent that the Nets ownership and general manager were not going to kowtow to Kyrie Irving's wishes in any way. But then they just ship him to, one of the best players in the game anyway, with him and Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
So Luka Doncic also, they've just played the past couple games together. That was not the case as Luka was out, I think, for 3 or 4 games. And Kyrie goes off. So, as is typical for Kyrie, there's the honeymoon phase right now. Things are great.
Yep.
But we will see when the rubber meets the road later in the season if things continue to be great. Do we think that Mark Cuban has the kryptonite for Kyrie?
No.
As an owner?
No.
I don't know if anyone does.
Not at all. He is the clown that comes into the party and ruins it. Like he stays too long, does something like, oh, it's a clown at the birthday party, sweet. And they're like, okay, creepy clown, go home.
There are other moves in the NBA. We're not into this league that much, so we're gonna move on. Jim has some news from Michigan.
I was really hoping you'd read that I really want you to read that. But all right, Michigan fired co-offensive coordinator Matt Weiss in January after he failed to attend a meeting to discuss whether he had gained access to computer accounts belonging to other people. This was just released now, like that, like when they got Freedom of Information Act, and that's how they figured it out. No details have been given as to whose accounts he had access to. So, what are our thoughts? Whose accounts did he have that warranted him being fired?
This could be an academic integrity issue.
Right?
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Right? So, like, do we think he was like changing grades?
Having access to the email isn't necessary. I'm talking academic integrity, like access to student emails.
So he was doing kids' homework?
Somehow helping. That would be my first guess. I mean, I don't. If he has access to other like coaches' emails, I don't know if he can do too much damage. Obviously, if he had access to faculty emails, that's a whole different ballgame.
Wild, right? Like, of all the controversies to be wrapped up in, this is a new one.
Yeah, I guess it's better than New Mexico State.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
Alex, in the Big 12, Oklahoma and Texas have agreed in principle to pay the Big 12 a total of $100 million to join the SEC in 2024, a year earlier than originally intended. The conference announced last Thursday night.
Take the money and let them go. I mean, yeah, you get another year of Oklahoma and Texas, I guess, if you don't take the money, but
It's about the same payout, probably.
yeah, I'm over it. Let's just move on with them.
For the first time, I agree with you.
It's time.
About a Big 12 topic of that.
I agree with you. I think that's the smart move. I just put that in there for Alex.
Thank you.
Talk to us about turn left, Jim.
They say, which is really hard for me to believe, that this year's Daytona is the 8th consecutive year that it will be a sellout, and this is the 75th year anniversary of NASCAR. I don't believe it's a sellout, but that's what they're hyping it up as.
Like including COVID?
Yeah, right? That doesn't make sense. But yeah,
they're bending the narrative probably, but
I would say so. Muff, I'm not going to read this one. I want you to read this one just because I know you, and I want you to read this one.
Kyle Busch was detained at a Mexican airport late last month when a handgun and ammunition were discovered in his luggage. The NASCAR star acknowledged this week, apologizing for the incident, calling it a mistake. Busch was sentenced this month to 3.5 years in prison in order to pay a $1,000 fine for having a gun and ammunition, but was allowed to leave the country.
So he still has this prison sentence on his, like, he still, if he goes, he's serving it. He paid his $1,000 fine, but was allowed to leave. So if he goes to Mexico, he going to jail. Muff, do you believe an accident like this could occur?
Yeah, it's very easily can occur.
Yeah.
I once had ammunition in a bag, but I had no gun with it coming back from Mexico. And let's just say it was not the most exciting hour of my life to be questioned by the Mexican authorities.
No bueno.
It was not an exciting time in my life. Thought I may miss my flight.
I think the one time we were so whenever you get your immigration form, you have to turn the one part back in when you leave the country. I had thrown that away. So whenever we got to the airport, I had to go get a new one and fill it out.
It's like the last day of our trip, and I go, "Hey, where's your immigration form?" "Oh, I threw it away a couple of days ago." I'm like, "How do you? Are you staying here?" Like,
see,
he tried his damnedest.
He was prepared. He was prepared to go all the way.
Más cervezas, por favor. Más cervezas, por favor.
I was so mad at him. And then they like don't stand us at the door and they send us through the Southwest line anyways. And we get all the way up to the front and they're like, no immigration and like send us somewhere else. I'm like, so don't travel with Nate out of the country. And if you do, hold on to his papers because.
Or just don't bring him back. Or just make it never be
or just like, yeah.
I just want to go join the drug cartels.
Make
some real dough.
So, Muff, having a similar situation as this happened to you.
Similar is not accurate. Not even close.
What do you mean? I mean, he had ammo. You had ammo.
I did not have a gun to go along with the ammo.
I mean, that's a minor detail.
You lost
Anyway.
it?
Huh? You lost a gun in Mexico?
I did not. I didn't even listen. If I'm being really honest, the United States did not care that it made the trip with me. Mexico or the United States did care that it was coming back with me.
All right.
Because it did not magically appear between the time I left the United States and the time I came back.
Boy, you got the Mexican bullets, huh?
Yeah, that just so happened to match, a rifle that I have.
Why did
you? Not on me.
Like,
I didn't intentionally take anything, Sam. It happened to be in there from a hunting trip.
He was hunting in Mexico.
I had hunted nothing in Mexico aside from cervezas.
Muff's a secret hitman. Just don't let him lie to us. So Muff, the real question is, do you think that you would have gotten away? Like they would let you leave the country and they made this a thing?
I mean, I did leave the country.
But they didn't catch the bullets, did they?
Yes.
Wow.
Jim, that's why I'm going to say the word detained very loosely, and why I was questioned for an hour of my life at the checkout.
I didn't realize they actually caught them. Okay.
Yes, checked bag, Jim. I was pulled to the side. A young lady reached into the bottom of said bag and said, "Uh-oh." And I said, "What do you mean, uh-oh?" And she pulled it out and I said, "Whoop, where'd that come from?" And she said, "You can't move." She said, "You can't move." I said, "Wasn't going to try to." I had to talk to no less than 5 to 6 people after that about the reason why it was in my bag.
I love that I can see the whole thing on. Where'd that come from? I'm saying that.
Oh, they did that with my Yeti when we came back from Mexico too. They like searched my bag, and the person in front of me was getting a bag full of meat searched. Like they were trying to bring back like a giant cow chopped up, I guess. I don't know. They had a bunch of meat. And I was like, oh.
I had like a funny shaped pen in my bag. What's in this bag? I'm like, I think just some normal shit. And they're like, what is this shape here on this thing that we see? I'm like, oh, that's a pen. And they're like, oh. And they're like, well, we have to open and see. I'm like, okay, go ahead. And they're like, all right, you can go. Like anything, because they scan like the shapes of things. So anything that's not like a perfect.
That's what my Yeti was.
Yeah.
So the best thing is, as I'm going to board the plane, right, to leave Old Mexico and come back to the USA, I see one of the same guys that I talked to at the boarding area, and they're randomly, pulling people aside and doing more bag checks. And I locked eyes with a guy when I was like 5 or 6 people away, and I said, "I'm good, I hope, right?" And he said, "Yeah, we're not going to ask you to stop."
The bullets make it back?
No. From the start, I said, "I do not want this." And at the end, they're like, we're gonna keep this. And I said, "That's fine. I never said that I wanted it back."
Gotcha.
I want to go on the plane and go back to America.
I just don't want to miss my flight. One of the best parts is, as I'm like, talking to people and having to answer the same questions 20 different ways, which, let's just be honest, if anybody knows me, they were going to catch me in this one. They were going to catch me around the story where like, oh, he's lying because he said this a different way. Nope, they got it one way every time. My friends, right, are like, I was the last person in line, of course, right? So nobody knows what's going on. They're looking at me and they're about, we'll say, 20-ish feet away maybe. And they're like, "What's wrong?" And I'm just sitting there like, "Calm down, like, just give me a second." And then finally one of them came close enough. I was like, "They found a bullet in my bag." And she goes, they found a bullet in your bag, and I was like, you can leave now.
Like a little louder for the people in their back.
Right.
Good job, Muff. All right.
Wait, I have another piece of news that I don't know if we touched on because I've been otherwise,
Detained.
Yeah, I was detained for 4 nights.
Go ahead.
Did we talk about LeBron James breaking the all-time scoring record?
It was brought up. Things happened.
Okay. I
Was
just
it
read
really
a really
brought up?
interesting article, an interesting blog that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wrote about his feelings on the situation and how he took it as a double ouch that like basically LeBron was like no contact and no relationship whenever they asked about like him and Kareem, and then he was like that Magic said he would be upset about it. And I just thought his thing was cool. He's like, I mean, realistically, if you're playing basketball to chase the points, you're like Gollum chasing the precious. He's like, it's you're trying to win team, whatever. But he's like, I'm 75. He's like, I retired 34 years ago. He's like, this would be like, and I love this quote because I think it applies to a lot of things in life. He's like, he's like, that would be like me saying that, 34 years ago, I won $1 billion. And now some guy won $2 billion today and being mad instead of just being happy that I won $1 billion at one point in my life.
Yeah.
He's like, I just thought good for him. He gets to live like the same excitement that I got to. And I was like, good guy. He's very well written and spoken.
You should send that to me. I want to read it.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
And that
did hold on.
Come on, Muff.
The NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We all called Joe Thomas when we were talking.
Darrell Revis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just so we all know, Aliquippa High School in southwestern Pennsylvania has the most Hall of Fame players ever from any high school in Pennsylvania.
No.
Okay. Not Florida. Not Florida.
The whole world. Yeah.
Huh?
That was in the whole country.
The whole world.
Yeah. Same thing.
Ever. The earth. Most. Pennsylvania. Not Florida, right? Not Bama, not Georgia, not California, not Oklahoma, not Texas, not Ohio. Pennsylvania.
See, 2 of the 3 I knew right away. I had to look up and see who the third one was.
So Chuck Halley made like the seniors division. And if you're a Wheeling Feeling person, I believe it was Lindsley that he went to, but he was my pap's age. Like my pap knew him. So it was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
He was not at the Super Bowl. I think he has struggled with dementia and stuff. But yeah, it was cool. Local feller.
Yeah, some local flavor.
I believe he was the only, I could be wrong. He was the Super Bowl MVP. I have to stat check this. And he was the only one for the opposing team, correct?
For the losing team, yes.
Yeah.
He was in like the 3rd or the 6th Super Bowl or something.
Yeah.
Like he was in the like first ones. I did some research.
Yeah.
He sounds
good
like
research.
Local history.
Yeah.
Which is the end of the NFL. And next week, Jim, we're going to start
the offseason. This is Mount Massive.
All
right, so we're going to do...
Sorry.
We're going to do the top 5 Super Bowl commercials of all time. I am going to go first. The commercial where Alexa loses her voice and Cardi B does her voice. That's on my list. When Michael Bublé does the Bublé versus Bubbly. Shout out. The Waza Budweiser commercial. The Budweiser frogs. And again, this is no particular order, but I lost my shit last night watching Miles Teller dance in the Bud Light commercial to the waiting music.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, because I hate that music, and he just made it so much better because now I'll get to see Miles Teller dancing in my dreams. So
in your dreams.
Yeah, he's a handsome man. Go ahead, Alex. I'll let you go next.
Okay. So mine, I always liked the Game of Thrones Bud Light ads mix. Me and my cousin were talking about this one last night, Puppy Monkey Baby,
That was a good one too.
because it was so stupid. But he's like, but we're sitting here still talking about Mountain Dew and the Puppy Monkey Baby.
Mm-hmm.
The E-Trade talking babies were always funny. The NFL 100 year, where all they were at that party and all the guys are crashing through, all the old players. And this one I was not alive to see live, but being a Yinzer, the Hey Kid catch, Mean Joe Green throwing his jersey in the Coca-Cola commercial.
You damn Yinzers.
At least I admitted that this was a Yinzer take. I was not alive. But then they redid it with Palomalu, didn't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's just a classic.
Sam, do you have yours ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go ahead, Sam.
So no particular order. The M&M's commercial last year with Dan Levy, just because I freaking love him with every part of my body. The Betty White one, the Snickers one.
Mm-hmm.
Every Budweiser commercial I think has made me cry that has horses in it. I don't know why. I'm not a horse person, but like they're always so
The
sentimental.
puppy one.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, I'm not a dog person. Give me a horse and I'll cry. I don't know.
Fair.
That was 3. The E-Trade babies, the one last night with the baby wedding was super cute. And I think I had another one, but now I don't remember what it was. Let me scroll back through my little thing here.
The triangle last night was good.
Yeah, that was good. The Doritos one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The changing channel one is still it's just hurting me still. I was terrified.
Hurts.
I don't remember what my last one was. So
You're just gonna stop it.
last night the one with J-Lo last night was pretty good with Ben Affleck.
I get it.
Yeah. I mean, it was cute. I like them. That's all.
All right. Move on.
Okay, so I'm in agreement. The WhatsApp commercials, the Talking Babies, and the Joe Green commercial, all on my top list. The 2 that I have to add are the Wendy's "Where's the Beef" commercial.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Was not alive for it, but definitely something that's been brought back and still was used. I remember through. I think they still put it back in the rotation every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Cindy Crawford Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
It's an all-timer.
That's a good one. If you, the loyal listener, has a commercial that you think we left off, tough shit. No.
Wow.
Hit us up in the DMs. And that's not massive.
No.
Yodelay-hee-hoo.
Would you rather?
Would you rather walk barefoot through the frozen tundra or through the Sahara Desert?
The desert. I hate the cold.
Yeah, I don't like the cold. I'd rather my feet be hot.
Cold every time.
Mm-mm.
All right. So this week's Would You Rather. What sport would you rather get the MVP on? Like at the end of the year, the championship game has been held. What sport would you want to be the MVP of?
Sport or a championship game?
Muff, does it matter? Like it's sport coincides with the championship game.
Because Patrick Mahomes was the NFL regular season MVP and the Super Bowl MVP.
Oh, okay. All right. So what
That's
sport?
what I'm saying.
What sport?
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Okay. Is there options?
Nope.
Since it's
I'm
would
giving
you
you
rather?
it's wide open.
The World Cup.
Wow, Muff. Okay.
It's once every 4 years.
Okay.
NHL. I feel like that's a badass sport.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Hey,
I'm gonna go with NHL as well.
I think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with NHL now too. You guys got me jealous. I don't want that. I don't want that FOMO.
I picked the Olympics.
Yeah, go ahead.
The MVP of the Olympics.
The gold
Well,
medal.
That's
what it is.
Overall, like
Is there a specific sport that you would want to be the gold medalist of?
gymnastics or ice skating.
Ice dancing or ice skating?
Ice figure skating.
Bingo.
Or
Ice
there's
dancing.
like diver thingies.
The synchronized ones or the individual ones?
Both. I got very interested in that this year.
The platform or the diving board?
The platform.
All
Hey,
right.
no way I'm climbing up that high.
Because that's the platform's the high one. The diving board's the low one. You just have to jump.
Oh yeah, no. I like to watch people do it, but I'm not doing it.
Okay. That's why you would like to do it. You would like to be the MVP.
But I'm not going to.
Because you in real life we wouldn't ever want to be there.
Yeah.
Me either.
Next question. You retire from your sport, a champion. They interview you. They say, "What are you going to do now?" What is your answer?
Golf. Every day.
Alex?
Go to Disney World.
Nate?
Sam?
I'm gonna veg out.
I'm gonna eat some snacks.
I was gonna say eat snacks too. Damn it.
Nate's gonna sleep and I'm gonna eat. So
I'm going to sleep.
I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm going to take a nap.
I'm gonna take a nap here.
I'm gonna take a nap right here.
here.
Sounds like I'm the only one that's going to have any activity in my life after I retire.
Yes.
They asked me at work the other day what I'm gonna be doing when I retire. Because the one woman was like, when you're my age, I'm coming back to see what you're doing. And I was like, I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be baking cookies. Because when I retire, I'm baking cookies. So I'll be
Well,
eating.
Period.
And enjoy. All right. And the last one. Would you rather have the winning touchdown or the winning sack?
I'm a
Touch-
defense. Oh, wait, go ahead.
Nate said touchdown.
I'm a defense wins championships kind of person. I would want the game winning sack.
Touchdown. That game-winning sack's not going to get you the MVP.
I don't care.
Give me the tutty.
I'm not Golem searching for his precious.
I want the game winning sack.
You guys don't want to get paid then. Sorry about it.
I'm all about the winning sack.
The Watt brothers get paid.
That's true.
Doesn't have to be the best player on the team that gets the sack. What if you're like Joe Schmo defensive interior lineman and
You don't have to be the best
get
player.
the sack?
You don't have to be the best player on the team to get the game winning touchdown. Kadarius Toney, he could have if you'd have taken that punt back to the house last night, he would not have been the MVP of that game. Should have been, but he wouldn't have been.
Nah, he shouldn't have been.
After two touchdowns back to back like that.
Devin
I'm with
Hester won
Alex.
the MVP.
And that
Right.
is
Right. Well, yes, you're with Alex on that, which means you would like to score the touchdown.
no, I want to do
No,
the
I
winning
like the
sack.
sack. I'm saying that's why I would like the sack.
Get out of here, Muff. That's Would You Rather. Muff, take us home.
That is this week's episode of Sports Stuff W/Jim Amerson Muff, which is where you can find us on Facebook, on YouTube, at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter. Get with a plan, hit all those action verbs, except for the ones that Nate says. Sam, give us an action verb that you do in social media. Go.
Like.
That is a basic response from Sam, who is
I'm a BITCH.
glad you said it. And this is what we do in this episode: make the things happen, and to make us go to the moon, into the craters of the moon, into the sea of serenity. You just have to tell a friend, make a friend, be a friend.